Hi, I'm Charlene Chamberlain, and you're listening to Front Row on WTER Radio. The term busking, B-U-S-K-I-N-G, was first noted in the English language around the middle 1860s in Great Britain. Up until the 20th century, buskers were commonly called minstrels. The word busk comes from the Spanish word buscar, meaning to seek, and buskers are literally seeking their fame and their fortune. This art form was the most common means of employment for entertainers and musicians before the advent of recording and personal electronics. Cafe busking is done mostly in restaurants, pubs, and cafes where musicians perform in return for tips. Noted artists such as Joni Mitchell, Bob Dylan, and Joan Baez all started their careers as cafe buskers. My guests today are Jason Zemlyn and Dan Edery. These Bay Area musicians recently returned from a 2-week Wandering Minstrels tour that took them up the coast of California and into Vancouver, British Columbia. Although they had actual paying gigs lined up, they also busked their way up and down the coast. We caught up with Jason and Dan while they were busking on a sunny street corner in Sausalito, California.
This is Charlene Chamberlain, and we're actually on location in beautiful Sausalito, California. And I am here with Daniel and Jason, and they are professional musicians who happen to be busking here this afternoon a little bit in between their gigs. And it's a beautiful day, and we've just listened to some wonderful, wonderful gypsy music. So say hello to WTER.
Hello, WTER. 1, 2, 1.
How has your day been today down here?
Been alright. We've been here a
little late, but I mean,
sandwich money, so.
Ferry money to get back?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
That's all that really matters.
Yeah.
Let's check in with Dan and Jason via Skype to hear their story. So hi Jason, hi Dan, good to see you guys again.
Hey Charlene, how you doing today?
We're good. It's raining here in New Jersey, but what's the weather like in California?
Oh, beautiful and sunny, as 95% of the time it is.
Yeah, I know, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
So
If you don't like change, come here.
I'm so happy that you guys are able to talk with us via Skype because I so want to hear your story about your musical sojourn. So let's first start out talking about what instruments you play.
Okay, for this thing, well, I've been playing violin. Dan, you can field your own question, I guess.
Yeah, I play guitar and I sing, and I play a little bit of bass, but I wouldn't call myself a bass player.
We have electric instruments and stuff that we play too, like electric guitar and bass, but just for this, it seemed pretty appropriate to not have to plug in, so.
Right, so this was an acoustic tour, so to speak, then.
Yeah,
pretty
we
much.
call it that.
Do you have set songs that you play, or is it just whatever hits your fancy?
Dan?
Well, it was, we kind of didn't really plan. I knew some songs, and Jason had some songs that he liked to play on violin, so we kind of just collaborated, kind of met in the middle. So
yeah, exchanged on things that you know, there were things where he knew the lyrics and how to sing them by guitar by himself. So you know, it was good enough to play around a campfire. I just kind of added an extra voice to it. Things like that. Then there was some taken requests and stuff like that, for better or for worse. So yeah, there's like a lot of things we picked up on the road just playing. We played with other musicians. That was kind of cool. So maybe like Dan picked up a couple of like Stone songs that seemed to land for the other guy. Yeah, things like that. It's kind of a very open process, I suppose.
Well, what made you two decide to take this trip?
I usually, you go first, man.
Oh, sorry, yeah. It's just the fact that we could. I mean, we were both available to do it. We didn't really have any other obligations during this time, so we've been wanting to do a trip. We've been friends for years, so we're talking about doing something like this for a long time, and it just worked out.
Yeah, we both, you know, have jobs and everything. I work as a tutor, so we had a couple of weeks off after, you know, school was out for the summer and everything like that, to make something happen. And Dan usually does graphic arts, so, I mean, you're kind of on like you kind of gig around with that, right? It's like you get jobs for several weeks in a row, and then...
Yeah, it's in freelance, so, you know,
exactly.
Sometimes up.
So you have pretty flexible schedules and decided to just kind of pack up the car and take off. Where did you go?
Okay, well, I guess technically it started with me going down to LA. I was visiting my parents, and I figured Dan was going to come up to at least Oakland, hang out with us, hang out for a few days. But while we were down there, maybe a little bit before, we'd kind of been talking about this like fictitious road trip that, you know, probably never was actually going to happen. But yeah, we got when we got to Oakland, we were here for a couple days, playing with just music and stuff like that, and we decided my sister recommended going to the Oregon Country Fair just this summer because it's cool, I guess, and so that was kind of like the first destination we had, and we're like, oh, okay, why don't we like just travel up there? We spent a night in Shasta, and there we actually brought our acoustics and stuff like that, and it was like that first night, I think we were just kind of playing around at a campfire, and we kind of thought, you know, it was really clicking. You know, we've done it before, but it was nice just to have like the space, the quiet, you know, not having anyone kind of around there to like hear you, so you could just kind of, you know, it's just there, and no one has to know how bad or good it is, you know, just kind of relieving.
That was one of the nice things about the trip too, was that we had a few nights where we were in between cities and we were just camping, so we just took the opportunity to just jam out and kind of, you know, play full volume, and, you know.
Yeah, it was cool. And then like people from other campsites would come up and like, like there were like little kids on bicycles who would like kind of like circle the perimeter, like keeping their eyes on us while we're doing it and stuff like that. And that's always pretty rewarding. So, yeah, and like, oh man, Northwest has some great campgrounds. So it was, if it wasn't inspiring, it was at least pretty. So.
So as far as sleeping arrangements, is that what you did? Did you camp most of the time?
No, we met a lot of really cool people who, you know, stuck around while we were playing, and then, you know, were asking us questions and stuff, and when they found out we were, you know, not from there, had no idea what we were doing, and like at some points didn't even have like the currency of the country we're in, Canada, obviously. But you know, people were really cool, and you know, there was places to stay when we had met them maybe at like 11:30 at night anyway. So, you know, these two people are playing music on the street, and you know, they're giving us a place to stay. So it was pretty cool, you know. I think when
just so like generous, and we even ended up staying with this fellow busker in Seattle, and like the guy, he basically, I think he'd been homeless, and then he basically got this like government assist housing, and it ended up being this amazing apartment that was like right on the water pretty much, and
15 stories up.
Wow.
15-story apartment. He pays $50 a month.
Wow.
And
yeah.
There's no furniture in the apartment, but he was so generous with, you know, like letting us stay there. And
yeah, he at one point he was like, hey guys, I know you guys must be tired and everything like that. You guys want to have some tea with me? I got like 3 tea bags and like this one bowl. We could all share the bowl.
Oh,
stuff.
that's pretty
There's like
sweet.
no furniture. Like I was telling him, I was like, technically it was more comfy outside because the ground was at least like grass and stuff like that.
Soft.
But it was just nice to have a place to stay. And yeah, by the end of it, we're calling him
Showers.
Mick.
The
So-
shower. So walk
But
me,
word up, Mick. Love you, buddy.
walk me through the cities. What was the timeline?
Okay.
So you started out in LA basically, then went back up to Oakland.
Oh yeah, that's right. And in LA, we played in Venice. Remember?
Oh
And
yeah,
that was like maybe.
that was like a trial run, you know.
Yeah, that was like the first time we had played out. We were just kind of playing on the beach, away from all the like, seasoned buskers and like street performers, because we also
Right.
didn't know exactly how it worked, and we know it's kind of territorial over there as well. So
So wait a minute. You two have never done this before. This is first time out with this.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
And the first
okay.
time we played outside with these instruments was in Venice technically. Then the first time we actually busked was in Eugene. But
Okay.
so.
And I didn't even have a guitar strap. I was like,
Oh yeah,
I was
we
like,
had to earn
on
that
my
guitar
knees on
strap.
the ground. Very unprepared, but still just, had a great time. I think that's what really came through.
Yeah, I think at that point Dan didn't even have a shirt. So
Yeah.
So did you have to
I-
make money to buy a shirt?
I had to earn a shirt.
yeah.
So from
Well, I think he stole one off a homeless person. So.
oh boy.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
from Venice, where did you go next?
Well, Venice. Okay, so from there we went to my place in Oakland, and that's where we were
Right.
hanging out for a couple days. Then we went to Shasta.
Okay.
That was like the first night that we camped out, and we were just hanging out, playing music. And I remember just driving. That next day, we stopped by the lake, just drove through to Oregon. It was, absolutely beautiful and everything like that. And I had a nephew in Eugene who we went to play to crash at his place. And then his housemate was like, hey, you guys can totally go to the Saturday market. There's people always playing. Like, you guys probably good enough and everything. We're like, oh, okay. And we got out there and we parked the car several blocks down, tuned up, and we're just kind of like playing just to like go through songs. Like, oh, well, what do you know? Maybe we'll pick like 5 songs and
Right.
10, 15 minutes and get out, But as we were playing, some lady came up and was like stood around while we were like, practicing, and then at the end of our song, she gave us a couple bucks. She's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And we were like, oh, that was
Oh, wow.
awesome, really nice of you.
Yeah.
And
That was our first money that we made.
technically, and we
Yeah.
were tuning up, so we're like, okay, maybe this can work out, and and then we met these other buskers who stopped by and kind of gave us like the scoop and stuff like that while we were just kind of tuning up. They're like, oh, you guys are just gonna go play down there, like find a good corner next to the
The vegetables.
between the Saturday market and the farmers market and everything like that, and it was really cool. And there was already musicians playing there on like stages and stuff, so we got to check out that and
Right.
kind of get a feel for the crowd, I guess. So yeah.
And so what was the next stop after the
So from there, we went to the Oregon Country Fair, which is just outside of Eugene. So yeah, that was awesome. Why don't you take it from here, Dan?
was it really a country fair or
It was.
So-
I mean, you were
okay.
expecting it to be like
Country
a
fair.
traditional fair, but it was kind of like a hippie festival, I guess. It's really.
There was no corn cob eating or wrestling pigs
pie
or anything
eating,
like that.
right?
No, nothing like that. Which we thought it would be, and we're like, this is gonna be weird. Why would my sister recommend this?
Right.
But it was quite the opposite actually. It was almost like a Renaissance fair, but
With
With,
hippies.
like-
With hippies.
yeah, I mean, I don't know, but like that's still sounds like a Renaissance fair, right? There's something
Yeah.
else to
Yeah,
it.
it's like very much like it felt like we were in like some sort of fantasy world. There was a lot of like people with kind of like those Renaissance masks and like antlers and
Really? Wow.
things. Yeah, it was just out there, but just a lot of really good vibes. I mean, we were literally like, after we came out of the fair, we were like all tingly. Like we just had this, we had absorbed the energy of the fair.
I feel at this point it's like a good point to mention that there were a lot of body painted topless women there. Might have had something to do with the tingling.
I think so.
Just letting you know.
And after the fair,
But actually, I should say, but it was really cool because as we were walking out of the fair, we were kind of playing while walking with the crowd and stuff. So we're like walking with the crowd that was like following us and stuff, and then we got to the parking lot and everyone kind of did their thing and split up. And like some people came over and were like, "Hey, would you guys playing for us? Like, we're hanging out by our van, like getting ready to go, but like, you guys want to like do a little show and stuff like that?" We're like, "Yeah, sure." And like, it was cool. It was like, it was nice to be appreciated, you know, like just and being asked, like, yeah, that'd be great. That's like exactly why we do this, is to play, you know. And if people enjoy it, that's even better.
Yeah.
But even if they didn't, I mean, we'd probably still be doing it, knowing people.
Things we didn't set out to really make money. I mean, we budgeted for the trip. You know, it was really more just about enjoying ourselves and meeting cool people. But you know, so we just enjoyed playing for whoever wanted to listen. They were fun. We were enjoying it.
And you know, I think busking is kind of a very personal thing, because you know you may just be playing for one person, and maybe just their very special song that they want to hear if you know it.
Yeah. So totally. It's kind of funny because one thing I was actually talking to Dan with this about how like the really cool thing was, like, you know, you do your thing. And, you know, sometimes you play a song everyone knows, and they're all, like, singing and everything like that. We've had, like, you know, gutter punks, skater kids, surfer guys, little kids, old people, like, professional women, all these people just, like, hanging out, like, enjoying it for what it is. And it's cool because you create this little, like, try not to sound cheesy here, but this little, like, bubble, this little... space of noise and community for whatever it's worth. And then, like... You know, when you're done, it's just a piece of concrete again, and, you know, that was kind of like what you did to it, and there's this sense of, like, you know, we played in rock bands before, and one of the most frustrating things about it is, you know, obviously you gotta have electricity, a place to play, drums need to, like, you know, you usually can't do that in an apartment. You have to get well rehearsed with people, like a big group of people or a bigger group of people. You have to book a show. You have to beg your friends to come and pay $7 cover charge and then a 3-drink minimum. And, you know, it's just like after all that, like the original intention or the expression gets kind of like lost in there somewhere, and it just becomes this whole rat race of just trying to play for people. And like the awesome thing is, it's like, here, that look good? Yeah, that's cool. You know, let's do it here. Or like, nah, it smells funny, let's go like 20 feet over, you know, so.
Well, you certainly have the freedom to go and play wherever you want, whenever you want.
Oh, yeah.
At whatever
time
you want to.
Doesn't matter.
I know.
Yeah, but the water will stop us.
Well, eventually. So, did you make it up to Portland?
Yeah, we got to Portland. We were mainly visiting a friend who just got accepted to a music conservatory in Boston. We're going for a master's in composition. I don't know, maybe he has something you could look up, David Liebling. There's a shout out if anyone wants to check it out. But yeah, we were hanging out with him, and I guess we just kind of went around having fun. We played out a couple times, but it was kind of just to meet people, really. We didn't really... I don't think we had our cases open or anything like that. We're just like, maybe this way someone will come talk to us. And it always works, so it was kind of cool, you know.
I do have a question. Is there some secret meaning behind the Red Feather Boa?
Maybe. Dan, would you like to feel that?
I can't think of anything clever enough. No, we pretty much, when we were at the country fair, I inadvertently stole it from this girl.
Oh.
It wasn't stolen. This
she
girl
disappeared, so I really tried to find her and get it back. So.
Yeah, well, maybe she'll find you.
Go on.
Maybe she'll come find you.
Yeah, right? Well, yeah. Well, we still have it, so whatever your name was, hula hooping girl who was kind enough to try to take us through the fair, but we got lost. She was really short, and yeah, a lot of people there. Bye.
So how was your final destination was Vancouver, British Columbia?
Yeah.
How was it to play, and did you have any trouble getting through the border?
Yeah, funny story about that. But yeah, like from Portland, if we're going chronologically, we went to Seattle. And that's where we met up with. We'd gotten off on just a random exit that looked like it'd be downtown. We parked. Some guy told us to go to Pikes Place. Obviously, that's where people hang out. And we ran into the first guy we ran into was the guy who ended up putting us up for a couple nights. And he was standing there in front of the first Starbucks ever. So there's tons of tourists taking pictures of this sign, and everything like that. There's a line out the block, even though there's a Starbucks like 20 feet down. So there's all these people like playing there, and there's this short surfer looking guy, kind of really tan skin, sunglasses, like long, gorgeous, beautiful hair down to his waist. Looks like quite this character, and he's just playing. Do you remember what he's playing?
He's playing "You're So Bad" by Tom Petty.
Playing "You're So Bad," and we recognized that. I was kind of sitting there like vibing, and I kind of like, pulled my violin, like kind of slung it in front of me, like in the case, and kind of gave him this look like, I was like kind of rocking out for a couple songs, and then I was like, is it cool? Like, you think that'd be fine? Like, and he kind of gave me this look like a little bit confused for a second, and just like kind of like, I was like, and like he just kind of reluctantly was like, all right, fine. And so I got in there and undid my thing, kept the case closed just so there wasn't knew I wasn't stepping on anyone's toes.
Right.
And I waited for the one and like came in on the route and as soon as he did that, he kind of like looked over, was like, oh, kind of smiled, and like as he was looking at me, Dan had his guitar on and came in like singing the harmony and playing the chords and stuff like that, and then he was like in the middle of us, like this short dude, like who were both kind of providing this giant parentheses for, and he's just looking back and forth, and like we all just kind of start singing and playing, and people started throwing money, and like photos started going off because all of a sudden we became this bigger thing. And we end up like on this trip we must be on like at least 50 families like slideshows or something like that.
Of course.
Which is cool, right? Yeah.
You're probably all over YouTube and don't even know it now.
Oh God, yeah, right. I like wonder what the title would be. Smelly kids play music or something. But what do you call? But it's great because we actually met through song. It was like I don't know. I felt like it was this like stupid movie moment that actually doesn't happen in real life, but we got to have it happen because like we went through the song and like it's kind of like and then afterwards he's like, hey man, you guys are pretty cool. Like what's your deal and stuff. And he's like giving us the scoop. He's like, all right, like. If you need a place to stay and all that, and then he followed through, which we were surprised about. We're like, people say nice things, right? But
we called him at like 1 a.m. too.
Yeah, he was like, call me like anytime. I'll be up reading a book or something like that. And he was like, it was always about like Lost and Found or Rabbi Nachman or something, right?
Yeah,
he's a cool dude.
So you did call him at 1 a.m. and he invited you to come over and stay over.
We came in with beer and stuff like that. We kicked him down some of what we made too, just because figured that's part of the etiquette,
Sure.
So yeah.
You skipped the best part, Jason.
Do go on.
Well, he told us after we met him, he took off for a little bit, and I think we tried to play a song, but then another seasoned busker came up.
No, he wasn't.
He was like, I guess he wasn't seasoned. He thought
he was a new kid. He was like, Mick was making fun of him. He said he's been here 3 weeks, but now like he got his permit and he'll like blow you out of a spot.
Do you have to have a permit to do that?
To play Pikes Place specifically.
Oh, okay.
Which makes sense because that's where it is. But you can play right outside. The Pikes Place isn't even. We did better. Obviously we couldn't play Pikes Place for more than 15 minutes before getting rolled that one time in the morning, which was cool. But you could do it anywhere basically. But obviously there's like certain, there's always people. There might be people playing. You don't want to like take the same corner or like intrude on anyone's space. There's a lot of like homeless people, asking for spare change. So you tend to let them do their own thing or something like that. And we've had problems where we were playing and like 3 people who were asking for spare change just kind of were listening to us, and it was all great and everything like that. But then every time someone came up, they were just all all immediately honed in and like a magnet and just scared them away. So But what is the best part?
So back to the story after. So basically, we kind of got booted from that spot, but someone had told us that Westlake Plaza, I guess, in Seattle was really good. So we headed up there, finally found it, and we set up in front of another Starbucks, of course. And
it's too easy.
Yeah, and we were playing. Go ahead.
Yeah. Dan, you can't get into specifics, though. It's part of the rules.
What?
Look it up. You can't, man. It's just not right.
So it's
You're telling me not to get into specifics.
Okay, sorry. Well, about this, but do you think, man?
Okay. Well, yeah. So anyway, long story short, we're playing there, and I think we went through our set, and we were taking a break, and we had noticed this lady, pretty unassuming, maybe was a little bit older than us or something like that. And she, after we were kind of packing up or whatever we were doing, taking a break, she came up and kind of like really, nonchalantly was just like, hey, you guys are pretty good, or,
Might have been some sting on it, like, you guys are pretty good.
yeah.
Hard to tell.
Like, I was kind of even like, I was like, oh, well, pretty good, I was kind of gave her some attitude.
Right.
Yeah, and then so she hands something to Jason, and I see him kind of like look at his hand, look up, like kind of do this like double take thing, like with this really like shocked expression on his face. By this point, she's like halfway down the block. I see Jason just take off after her, like, hey,
There was a lot of debate.
Yeah, he was like,
Yeah, there's a lot of internal conflict on this one.
Yeah, so he goes, I think you made a mistake, and then what happened, Jason? What'd you say?
Oh, well, okay. I'm not gonna say what she gave me, but I was like, I think you made a mistake. And she's like, no mistake. And I was like, but, and she's like, it's real. And like, I was like, well, like, I took a knee. I was like, can we play you a song? Any request? Like, blah, blah, blah. And she just like gives us this like peace. Later, Taters like walks away and like just like all like, and she just like let us stand there like in awe, jaws at our feet.
So what was it?
It was like it was a substantial amount of money.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't
It's
anything.
like,
It wasn't
alright.
anything illegal.
No, it wasn't anything illegal.
Illegal
I
in
just,
New
like,
Jersey.
the thing is, we don't want to like go into people's towns and be like, oh, this is the place to
No,
go.
no, that's
the fact
okay.
of the matter is, if you're listening and you think this is a good idea, it's not going to work out unless you love it. And it changes every day. You can't like you go to the same spot. That dude was great for you one day, it might not be the other. So, do your thing, play it out, but you didn't hear from us.
So then after that little excursion, did you finally end up in? Did you go to Vancouver then?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So also we should mention we played at the Bite of Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard
yeah.
I heard about that festival. I heard that was pretty
Yeah,
nice.
it's pretty awesome. There's some pretty cool musicians there. There were great musicians at the Oregon Country Fair too. It was like a bunch of festivals, and I wish I knew the names of the guys who were good so I could tell you all about them. But we played the Bite of Seattle, and that was pretty fun. There were a lot of really cool people there. A couple of musician kids who were like, oh, could we like while we were taking a break, they're like, can we pick up your guitar and we kind of just let them do their thing. We recorded them, as kind of this documenting people we met on the road.
Right.
And on our way out, okay, so then that was leaving Seattle. And then that's where I ran into some trouble, where I think we reached the point where it comes in every journey where you're about to reach your final destination, but there's that moment where it looks like all's going to collapse.
What happened?
Dan, why don't you take this?
Go, Dan.
Yes. So we're leaving Seattle. We're on our way to the Canadian border, and I think we're maybe half an hour away from the border.
Yeah, Smoky Point rest stop.
Yeah.
Right.
And
We saw that sign.
see a sign.
Coffee.
We see a sign that says free coffee, and we get there. Lo and behold, there's this kindly couple giving away coffee and pastries.
Yeah, donations for something maybe.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's amazing and really nice. But then we get back into the car and it won't start.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so it won't start. It won't turn over anything. Not even a noise, and we're just like, of course.
Yeah. Well, in the middle of northern Washington, there's the biggest town is 30 minutes away, Mount Vernon or something like that. Or just when it's Saturday night, everything's closed. Sunday, nothing's gonna be open.
So what was it? What did you do?
So apparently the starter was having some problems, but luckily we waited there maybe half an hour and we just tried again, stomped on the gas. It took us 3 times, but it turned over on the final one, and we got in the car and we're like, okay, what do we do here? We had, I think maybe a little more than a quarter tank of gas, and we couldn't stop at a gas station because you can't fill your car up while it's on, and once we turn it off, it's dead.
Right.
And so we're like, well, what do we do, man? We're halfway between Seattle and Vancouver, quite literally. And Dan's like, well, I have AAA here. if we go over there, I don't think we have it anymore. And then we just had this debate, and that like, we're like, yeah, we should probably go back to Seattle and just like, we got a place to stay, blah, 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 we know what it's like, and everything like that. And then there's this moment where we're just like, no, fuck that. Let's like, sorry, can I say that?
Yes.
We're just like,
Yes, you can.
awesome, fuck that.
Yeah.
Let's like pick it up. And we got back in the car, you know, giddy with our, Dan screaming about getting poutine and stuff like that, like on the road. And we get to the border, and first of all,
And they
we were
let
just, like,
you,
super-
and Canada let you in.
Canada let us in, surprisingly. That was great, because we couldn't turn the car off, right?
Right.
So we're getting up there, we're already like giddy from just sitting in the car and everything like that. And like just getting ready to cross the border, and the guy like pulls up and he says, or we pull up to the guy, and he's like, you know, asking us all the questions, our passports and all this stuff, and he asked us like stuff like, so how long have you guys been planning this trip, or like how long, and we're like, oh, well, we're not like really big on foresight. We didn't even think we were gonna make it this far, but like I guess if I had to say we're planning, probably maybe within the last 2 to 3 weeks. That sounded about right. And he's like, how long are you gonna be in Vancouver? We're like, well, you know, we're not like sure. You know, answering everything completely wrong. Not
That's
thinking about
not
it
what the Border Patrol wants to hear.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So, no.
We were being
we were
honest.
kind of messing around. Yeah, well, you should have let me answer things. That's what happens. So he asked if we have any firearms or anything like that, and I was like, no, we don't have any firearms. He's like, are you carrying anything for protection? And I was like, this is all I need. And like, you know, and he's like, oh, that's great, sir. Why don't you pull over to the left? And I was like,
no.
So no sense of humor in Canada. What's up with that?
Nope.
But I guess we pull over to the left, and the guy's like, all right, turn your car off.
Did they
turn
search
your car
you?
off.
Did you get searched?
Yeah, well, they said turn your car off, and we're like, well, funny thing about that is I totally can't because it's not going to start again. This happened, like, gave him the story. He's like, all right, whatever, just go in this, like, big hallway room. There's, like, some desks and stuff like that, and we have to, like, sit there waiting while they say they're going to search us, and it's going to take anywhere from 2 minutes to 2 hours.
Yep.
And we're just sitting there, and we're just like, oh, man, like, I'm like, okay, if anything happens, just say whatever it is. You just bought it from some guy who just returned from Burning Man, and, you know, whatever. Like something you like might have forgotten in a backpack or something like that, you know, just in case, because, you know, and at this point our car is just filled with camping gear and like instruments and like dirty laundry, mildewy towels, all that stuff.
And it's running out of gas.
Yeah, exactly. So 5 minutes later, like we're kind of like, oh man, I hope this doesn't take too long. I hope our car doesn't run out of gas sitting there. And like 5 minutes later, the guy comes up. He's like, follow me. And we're like, oh, God damn it. And so he walks us to the front. He points back to our car. He's like, yeah, just follow the officer and you can go. And we're like, oh, cool, awesome. And like, so we get there and we get back in the car and like, we're looking, like a couple things have been rearranged, including this clipboard full of like basically the dirtiest jokes we had heard on the road that we had like collected. It was like sitting on like the top of the passenger seats. They obviously took a quick glance. But I think they did, like, there were a couple things moved over, like a couple towels, but I think they just said, what do you call, they just looked at it and were like, this is too gross for us, like, we might as well just let these kids on their way, so I don't think they wanted to touch it. So that was our free pass. So hot tip if you're getting across the border and want to save time.
Take dirty laundry.
Dirty laundry.
So how long did you stay in Canada?
Yeah, why don't you feel fun? I tend to run on.
It's supposed to be one night, right, Jason? And but then the fact that it was a Saturday, and we were like, oh no, you know, it was Saturday night, so we were like, oh god, like obviously no tow trucks or mechanics are working on Sunday, so we're gonna have to plan on being here for another night.
Also, we had no idea what was wrong with the car.
Yeah, so we basically just pulled it up to this city park, just hoping that it wouldn't get towed or whatever. And well, anyway, so long story short, we ended up staying for 2 nights, but it was really fun. It was a lot of fun.
And you busked while you were there.
Oh yeah.
First,
Do you think the Canadian audiences were more generous than the U.S. audiences?
It was hard to tell at first because we didn't recognize the currency.
Yeah, so they have dollar coins and $2 coins, so we thought it was all quarters at first.
No.
Like, oh, man,
That's
drove
right.
all this way, cheap ass Canadians are just giving us quarters.
Did you finally get the car fixed?
Yeah, we did. There was a place that was open on Sundays. There was like the one open towing company and the one open auto mechanic. So we're fortunate enough that there was that, I guess. But
So after the car was repaired, then did you turn around and head back, and did you busk your way back down
no.
to Oakland?
Well, we had to stay another night. It was pretty eventful. We usually just take it from parking the car, because this in about like 36 hours, so much things happened to my poor vehicle. But
yeah. Well, so then that first we had planned on. So yeah, we parked the car, and then that night,
knowing we wouldn't be able to start it again.
Yeah, knowing we wouldn't be able to start again until we got it fixed. You want me to skip ahead to after we fixed it, or?
Sure. Whatever.
Yeah. So fixed the car. That took up like most of Sunday, I guess.
And how much did it cost to fix the car?
It was like $300 or something.
Wow.
Yeah. Which I actually expected it to be a little worse.
Yeah. It was just the starter, so.
Speaking of money, how much total do you think you made on this 2-week trip?
Let's see.
Probably about
I think it was like we did the math, and including like if we went like LA and San Francisco when we got back, it was like over 400. But obviously a huge. It paid for the gas until the car problems started happening. But the thing is, I would have had to deal with that eventually. You know what I mean?
Right.
So might as well do it there.
So did you possibly break even on the trip, maybe?
Well, no, I would say broke even.
We may have.
Without that, like we at least had our gas taken care of in like several meals.
Right.
But I feel like we did some like kind of splurging because we got a little cocky, really fast.
Right.
We're like, yeah, man, it's free money. Like, totally,
We're rich.
I
$22.
know when we spoke, when we saw each other in California last week, you told me that you did go visit Jimi Hendrix's grave.
Oh yeah, that was important.
Tell me about that.
All right, so I guess that was like the morning we woke up in Seattle, the first morning we were there, and it's about 20 minutes outside. Growing up,
it's a little town.
Jimi was a huge thing to me. I think anyone who listened to music after Jimi was around. It should be, but we made our way out there. And he has this memorial and everything, and it has like lyrics written all over it. There's like pictures of his face, like in marble, and there's just tons of like lipstick kisses all over it and everything like that. People left like flowers and teddy bears and stuff. We left a guitar pick, seemed appropriate. And then we, there was the words for Liebling scrawled on one of the
Great song.
Yeah, exactly. So me and Dan. Took off the hats and like set it down and like said, hey, obviously not going to be nearly as good as you could do it, but this one's for you anyway. And Dan sang it, I played the chords and little leads and everything like that, and got it through one. I think some Dutch people filmed us too. So.
Well, that's pretty moving.
Oh no, it was the least we could do. You know what I mean? Like
it was really powerful.
It was kind of like thank you for so much.
Right.
And yeah. So.
So now you're back. Would you two do this again?
Oh, hell yeah.
We will.
Hell yeah.
Is another trip already in the making or planning stages?
Yeah, we're thinking about like wintertime, maybe like towards the Christmas season, like.
About this.
Yeah, right. But that's the thing is, waterproof acoustics, I don't know.
Would you take the same route?
We at least kind of blazed a trail for ourselves, so we have places and people we met. Even if we didn't stay at their place, there's like a whole. I think we have like different people in every city that we could stay with and not overimpose on anyone too much. So, but either way, that's the thing is we got the camping gear, so and I guess what was the thing is the nights we camped out, it was actually really nice, so that might not be an option, but we'll figure it out.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell me about the trip?
Dan, you got anything?
Dan, you're awful quiet over there.
It was just I really feel like it was an experiment in just what happens when you set off, and we didn't have any real preconceptions other than we just wanted to be like incredibly open to anything that came along and anyone who came along, and I feel like we tried to radiate positivity, and we definitely got it back, you know, and way more than we could have even given out. So that was the lesson. Really, was like, if you go and you have a great time and you do what you love, people gravitate toward it.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank musicians Dan and Jason for being on our show today. They are professional musicians that live in California that took a 2-week musical sojourn up the coast to Canada and back, and they had an amazing tale to tell. We hope to hear from them again on their next trip. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Well, thank you, Charlene. We really love being here.
Great. We loved having you.